In the future, we must never forget the lesson that we have learned, that we must have friends who will work with us in peace as they have fought by our side in war. This was said by Franklin Roosevelt to his fellow citizens 5 months before he died in 1945. Tonight, I am pleased to recognize our allies. 2 years ago, one of our honorees, Paula Dole, recounted the heroic mobilization of the Allied nations during the Second World War and illustrated the importance of these friendships with a moving account of her wounded grandfather's rescue by a Polish family. As the war came to an end, Americans proceeded to take Roosevelt's advice to heart and build upon these wartime alliances. Post-war structures like the United Nations, NATO, WHO, and dozens of unsung regional organizations provided platforms for cooperation. Like-minded countries came together to help during famines and natural disasters. Someone of my generation has witnessed international cooperation achieve stunning improvements in mortality and the near eradication of diseases like polio and AIDS. Many people in this audience spent their careers building networks of individual relationships overseas that reinforce these formal arrangements. Those of us in the field saw every day how our alliances in defense and intelligence and in my own work of diplomacy were a two-way street as we worked with countries represented in this room to prevent state-on-state conflicts or terrorist attacks. Our militaries trained and exercised together. American special forces shared their skills in places like Colombia, Pakistan, and Syria, and turned skeptical foreign forces into partners. Our intelligence officers uncovered information that enabled us to make judgments and take action against our enemies based on facts, not speculation. Friends here tonight were invaluable to the U.S. and parts of the world because they had greater understanding of local society or could acquire important intelligence that the U.S. had missed. These post-war alliances amplified our power, reduced our vulnerabilities, and helped maintain the peace. Now, it is true that Americans have flirted with isolationism off and on for most of our 249 years, but we always found it to be a losing strategy. Ronald Reagan said in his famous Pointe-du-Hoc speech, "We in America have learned bitter lessons from 2 world wars. We've learned that isolation never was and never will be an acceptable response to tyrannical governments with an expansionist intent. None of us acting alone." None of us acting alone can meet the challenges from China, turn back Russian aggression against Ukraine, and now nurture the ever so faint glimmers of peace in the Middle East without the strong alliances that have served us so well. So let me introduce and thank those friends who are with us tonight. Major General Joar Eidheim of Norway. Vice Admiral Tiongson of Denmark. Air Marshal Chris Mullen of the United Kingdom. Rear Admiral Ian Murray of Australia. Rear Admiral Ole Sandquist of Norway. Rear Admiral Christian Monahan of Canada. Brigadier General Gunnar Brugner of Germany. Colonel Flavien Launay of France. Colonel Christopher Knudsen of Norway. Ms. Nino Zindovik of Luxembourg. Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Halford of the United Kingdom. And I want to offer a very special welcome to the Defense Attaché of Ukraine, Major General Boris Khmelnytsky. Let's raise a glass to our allies. Let's raise a glass to all of them. Thank you.